Hello. I believe that you are watching this or listening to this. Maybe both. Might actually be both. If you're lucky. So let's begin. Last time we did a whole lot of work, and by that I mean I placed some signals up here, one down there, a few of them back there, placed a whole bunch of grass and several bushes, along with a little bit of texture work up here, and that took 2 hours. Yeah, I was a little tired. So what I want to do today is, firstly, I want to put in all the frogs on all the points and diamonds and things like that in the industrial area, because that's the thing I haven't done yet. And then after that, I want to place cars on some of the lots, specifically cars, because I think that these car assets might be quite resource intensive. If you look at how many vertices these probably have. Now, I would use lower resolution cars, but I really couldn't find any that I could use over and over again that look like from this time period. Huh. There's a translucent pyramid down there. Interesting. Did the other car have that? Oh, yes, it did. Very interesting. Hold on. Do these have properties? 1 second. No. I can only imagine that that is something that helped the developer of these make the asset. Anyway, yes, so that's why I'm using these ones. But because they're a bit performance intensive, probably, I think they are at least, I'm going to put those down before other details so that I don't end up lagging it out, because the cars are quite important. When you're driving through and you see some cars parked there, that will add so much more than if you just see a whole bunch of other tiny details around. It'll still feel a little emptier. So, right, hello Kangafanga, welcome. And I'll bust through, welcome. Oh, well, yes, I said big gun. Wonderful winter shots you posted on my server today, I'll bust through. Oh, let me have a look. I'm assuming these are the winter shots. Hope it's not too bloody. Oh, and it's not logged in. How interesting. Hold on. Hope I don't need... 1 second. Hope that this should work, right? 1 second. Let's see, what was it? I don't usually log into Discord that much because I'm usually already logged in. Don't usually have to log in that much, so there we go. 1 second. And okay, and logged in. So now I should be able to view these. And here we go. Ah. Very nice. I do miss the snow. Could you send some of your snow over here, please? And this one as well. Yes, yes, wink, wink. Just show me the image. Ah. Sorry, I'm not censored. Looks like... Aww. It looks like it's got frozen eyelashes under the eye over here. Like if you imagine these are the eyes, like some sort of insect or something, like with 4 eyes, with a mouth down here. It looks like the eyelashes are frozen. Aww. Anyway, thank you for sharing those. Right, should I these? Yes. Types cutely. Sorry for the hassle. Scroll further down on the first one. In sharing misc. Oh? Really? Hold on. I'm assuming you mean images? Oh, that is... Oh, I see. Yeah, could you send a little bit of that snow? Aww. Speaking of frozen eyelashes, I know they're probably whiskers. Aww. That looks so nice. Rowan berries can be tasty. They can also not be, depending on your taste. Right, and then of course it goes into Thomas the Tank Engine. When doesn't it? Right. Speaking of snow, it snowed here in Maine. Oh, hello, Maker School. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. This time you're the same color as Kango. For me, at least. Right. Little Irish frog. Yes. Snow's all gone from here now. Well, what? You should have saved some for Devon. Okay. What's your favorite season of Thomas the Tank Engine? Me? Probably 4 because of all the narrow gauge stuff. I really love the sets, like the whole narrow gauge area to me just feels like a second hidden magical world that's up in the hills somewhere, where kind of the difference between being in a city hold on, is this the correct one? 1 second, where is it? I need to re-find it. 1 second. Kind of the difference of like being in a city somewhere. Not a city. Let's say like a large-ish town, and there are people all around, and you've got all sorts of shops and parking lots and all sorts of street lights and stuff like that, which is more sort of the main line, the standard gauge stuff with all the docks and the Thomas branch and all that sort of stuff. And then, which is good, but then as soon as you go over to the narrow gauge stuff, it just feels like you're taken into a completely different world of like a little village that's kind of like, imagine like a little village on Dartmoor or something like that. Like it's a completely different world almost. So yeah, probably season 4 because of that. Also, this needs to be fixed slightly. Hold on. One second. Well, actually it might take more than one. Hold on. Yeah, I'll need to move that down to here. And then up there, and that up there. What's yours? Mix an extremely red orange for me. Probably just red. Magical? Like with a gold dust in Thomas the Magic Railroad? No. I meant more from the point of the sets. Like all of the, like just imagining, like just thinking of those sets with the lake in the background and the mountains, and back in with the old railway where before before Peter Sam. Well, back when Peter Sam, I think Stewart, when he was still called Stewart and all that. Just those mountain shots and the little picnic area and all of that. It had such great music as well and atmosphere. Yeah, so probably season 4 for those reasons, I would say, if I had to pick one. What do you think of Booba? Wait, Big World... Big World... So, I know of the abbreviation Booba, which is Big World, Big Adventures. I do not know of the abbreviation BWA, because Big World A? Big Adventure? What do you mean by that? If you do mean Booba, or Big World, Big Adventure, I suggest you watch one of my previous live streams where I talked about it extensively. But no, short version, I'm not a big fan of it. I think that the CGI stuff as a whole got rid of a lot of, pretty much most of the magic that it had, namely all the beautiful models, railway sets, and all of the uniqueness of each set. Like, you knew exactly where that was, like, relatively speaking. And the CGI stuff, just the entire island pretty much felt exactly the same and looked exactly the same, aside from very specific locations where you could see, this thing is meant to be the docks, this thing is meant to be this station. But if you're just the scenery somewhere, it's just... Anyway. But yeah, and then I have other issues as well with the Big World, Big Adventures. Chief among which is probably that I just think it's boring. It has so much wasted potential, because in the real world, the history and diversity of railways in the world is so diverse. There's so much stuff there, so many interesting things that they could have pulled from. Hello, Marky, welcome, how are you? They could have pulled from so much, like, for example, going over to North America. They could have gone into how Britain, the Stephenson Company originally supplied those old Wild West locomotives. They could have potentially gone into how the locomotives got so much bigger, like with Union Pacific, and how they had to get that big because of the huge distances and how long the trains get there. And they could have gone into the different aspects of how the railways are run. So, for example, how in the USA, obviously because of the much longer distances, how the yards are much larger and how different things are marshaled over there. Like, for example, they could have introduced the concept of hump yards and how they were, like, gravity pulling cars down to sort them. Or they could have at least mentioned the different coupler systems and have that be an issue that's solved. That has to be solved if Thomas goes over to America, that he can't couple to any of the coaches or wagons because the couplers don't work like that. They could have done a lot with it. And that's just with America, just a few things off the top of my head. They could have gone into so much more from that. They could have gone into, for example, the PRR K4s were inspired by... Well, no. They are the things that inspired the A1 Pacific. Was it the A1 or was it the A3? I think it was the A1. Anyway, Gresley took inspiration from the K4, I believe. Yeah, and so they could have done something with that. Like maybe Gordon, like maybe Thomas, like maybe they get talking about it. Like maybe they meet a K4 and they get talking about it, and then that's a thing that gets revealed. Also, I've noticed I've put these down the wrong way because I'm thinking of this as a... Hold on. 1 second. Yeah, and there are just so many different things that they could have done with that, but they didn't. And that's just America. They could have done so much more with all the different countries that they chose to visit. Actually, I think I'm just going to use the normal frogs because of the angle of this diamond. So yeah, I think it has a lot of wasted potential, which is especially weird considering that, as far as I know, they chose to go international to market it to an international audience, and yet they mostly just used stereotypes for the countries, not even, well, only glancing the actual railway stuff from the companies. Well, not companies of the countries. So, I hope that answers your question. What do you think of it? Watch Trainz Live number 217 to find out. I know. I was there when Charles was going on about it. Ah, right, of course. Yeah, yes. Stuart, Falcon, Duke, yeah. Big World and Big Adventures? Maybe. My favorite season is 2 or 3. I think I started that conversation, probably. Yes. I'm good, thanks. How are you? Yeah, I'm okay as well. I'm excited to finally getting some progress done on this route, because this area is finally getting somewhere. Right, I've got to have this... Hold on, which way is this? This is... No, this is right. This needs to go over here. Over there, that's fine. Although I may need to put another spline point in. Yeah, because of the... Yeah, because it has to go up a little bit there. But that works, I think. Although I should... yeah, I need to put one more in there just to have a bit of a smoother curve like that. Although, is that does that work? Is that a bit too bumpy now? Yeah, I've got to move that. 1 second. Like that. Yeah, that's better. Okay, that still lines up. That lines up, and that lines up. Good. Yes, if they had fitted Thomas with knuckle couplers. If I remember, there was a story about a Virginia 2662 or a 4662 that was supposed to happen, if I remember correctly. No idea. Sam, yeah. Oh, the K4. Yeah, because there was a K4 that did make an appearance in one episode, I think. And that... Was that in... I forget which one that was in. Hold on. That's the... No, left needs to go on right. There we go. Yeah, they could have reintroduced... Oh, Hank! There we go, that's the one. From season 12 into the Pooba movie. He was a K4. I know more about MEC, BAR, BNM Pacifics. Ooh, they could have gone with the PRR and New York Central. They could have done something between those two companies, or maybe have an old engine, like maybe a PRR K4, and then maybe like a, I don't know, a Hudson or something like that. like maybe talk between each other, trying to impress Thomas or something like that with their history, their old railroads histories, and then maybe the K4 could bring up that the A1s were inspired by him, and so that he's like the I don't know, like the not uncle, the ancestor of Gordon or something like that. Right. Could you not use procedural track here? I mean, I could use procedural track, yes, but well, first of all, when I started the Milton Valley Railroad, I couldn't find a procedural track that looked as that had the right color of ballast and that looked as worn as these do, because I also wanted a track that has a rusty variant as well. Plus, and this is the more important one, if I have like large yards with a lot of junctions, the procedural tracks tend to lag quite a bit for me. So I originally used procedural tracks on the Scar Hills subdivision, and I ended up replacing those with non-procedural tracks because it was just too laggy on the yard, or in the yard. Which is unfortunate, but oh well. I suppose it might even be good in a way, because then it means that other people with even less good computers should be able to run this without issue. I think it's to combat lag, yeah. Although most of the LOD, although most use LODs, so the chairs are only seen if you're close up, I think. Sorry, a bit of water. Yep, maybe. But I've kind of committed to using this track now. I have been for a while, so maybe for the next route that I make, because on the Haddoncourt tramway, which by the way, yes, it will release fairly soon, just waiting for Slovak Eagle to finish his playthrough of the sessions so that I can then fix some last minute bugs that are in it. On that I use procedural track, and yes, admittedly that's a very small route, so it doesn't lag there, but for my next route after the MVR, I am probably going to try to do it with procedural tracks, and we'll see how far we get. But for the MVR, I'm using quite a few legacy assets anyway, in terms of like ground textures and even trees, because there are, in my forest mix, you can see there are quite a few billboard trees, these CL trees mixed in as well. So yes. But it's a good shout. Right. Yes, Hank, I know. That appeared in Heave-Ho, Thomas, right. Caitlin and Connor. Those are from the US. Right, well, there you go. That's a ticket over there. Right there. Got an order from Train World. My mum and sis got me some train turnouts, buildings, an AX-shaped track, it's like a diamond, and some trucks and some other stuff. Ooh, lovely. Connor is a Hudson. Oh god, the rivalries between New York Central and PRR. Well, yes, but isn't there so much interesting stuff that they could do with that, that they could have done with that for Big World, Big Adventures? Like, there's such a rich history for railway stuff in the world outside of Island of Soul, UK. So, yeah. Grand Uncle of Gordon and Flying Scotsman. Right, well, have fun superheating your tea. Yeah. Okay, the train needs to move. It is in the way. Luckily, I've got a big empty yard up here. Okay. I know that this isn't very exciting, but it has to be done, and so I'm doing it. But we should get to some exciting detailing stuff afterwards, and then we can have a look and see what else needs to be done on this end of the route. And I don't think it's a whole lot, at least from a scenery standpoint. And then after that, we've only really got one area of the route left to finish, which is the big city area. Not the big city area, but like the city which is big area. And with that, the industrial zone there, and then the main line going for like one, maybe 2 stations before it gets into the terminus. Oh, and then we've also, of course, got to do the transition between the suburbs and the downtown/industrial area. Save, yes. Right. Chuggington better, am I right? You mean then Big World, Big Adventures? I've only seen a little bit of Chuggington, I think. And other than the, like, I think there are similarities. I think Chuggington is legitimately better than All Engines Go from what I know. Like the cartoon series. Big World, Big Adventures, I mean, some of the Big World, Big Adventures episodes are just so boring that I think some Chuggington episodes are legitimately better, like as a railway thing, even. But I cannot universally say that. Would it be cool if they featured New York Central and HR? New York Central and what is that? HR. Hold on. I did not mean to. Well, hold on. I did not mean to. Is that? Yeah, that's pinned. Hold on. Unpin this message. There we go. Sorry about that. Accidentally clicked on the wrong symbol. Right. What's in New York Central and HR? What do you mean HR? Number 900 when he was in the US. If he was in the US. I mean, I don't know what locomotive that is, but why not? Compared to the current show? Yeah, it is so. It's at least its own original thing and doesn't break canon left, right, and center. Yes, yes, big city. Caitlin and Connor probably fit to the UK and Sodor if they were British designs. Just imagine Caitlin as an Atlantic and Connor as a P2. I mean, I'm surprised that Caitlin and Connor can even run on the island of Sodor, considering that, at least as far as I know, the island of Sodor has the same loading gauge as England. From what I've seen from the sets. Although I doubt whether the designers of a lot of those engines and stories and elements even know what loading gauge is. Do they still use there are 2 there for... What? Do they still use there are 2 there for... Don't for TE? What? I mean, the Big World Big Adventures has its own ridiculous intro where Thomas is racing along the main line, racing up Gordon's Hill fast enough to literally catch like maybe, I don't know, maybe 6 or 7 meters of air going across the crest of the hill with a time stop, like Matrix style pan around of Thomas then landing, sparks flying as Thomas almost derails around the end as he leans out on the curve going around. And then going into a breaking the fourth wall, very baby-like introduction to the episode, basically telling you what it's about, which will then basically be repeated at the end. So I'm assuming that the All Engines Go also has its own introduction, like theme thing. But that is just an assumption. Or did they change it to something awful? I mean, who knows? Similarities, e.g. Trainz? No, I meant that's between Chuggington and the Thomas the Tank Engine stuff, the later stuff. No, I meant similarities as in the level of seriousness of which, like, how serious the show takes the concept of trains and a railway. Because, of course, in the original Thomas and Friends series, like TV series, the concept is very serious, as evident by a lot of episodes, especially in season 5, I think. But in the later stuff, it might as well not be a railway for most of them. It's like a playground that looks like a railway almost. That song got introduced with the hit era and replaced the original theme composed by Mike O'Donnell and Junior Campbell. Don't think they've still got it now. They dropped it with season 22. Booba. New York and Hudson River. Ah. New NYC and Hudson River. I still don't know the locomotive, but it certainly seems very interesting. So yes, I would like it to be featured, probably, if it's actually interesting. But it sounds interesting. They've got 22 seasons, OMG. No, they've got more than that, because season 22 is where Big World Big Adventures started. No time indeed. Hello. Welcome to a Trainz building stream, where at the moment I'm placing frogs, as you can plainly see, and talking about Thomas the Tank Engine, which you can plainly hear, as long as the quality of your speakers is good and there's no other interference in there, and like which you, if you're listening, you can plainly hear. But that will change. Not the plainly hear part, the frog part. Because one day the frogs will have all been placed. And when that day comes, then we shall place cars and other details. And when that day has finally passed, then we'll review and see if there is anything else that needs to be built scenery-wise in this area. And if not, then we'll go over to the city area, and which is the last area on the route that I need to make. Not considering, like, touching up certain scenery elements that I could, well, that I would now make in an improved way, as opposed to what I did previously. Because some of this is now over 2 years old. And in that time, my building style has improved, luckily. It's not good if a creative thing that you're doing remains static. Unless it's a sculpture, then it should probably not move around a whole lot. Let's see. Boba was 2224. It's a 440 that was the first to go 100 miles per hour. Oh, that one. Oh, I see. Unless, of course, it really was City of Truro. Orange Go was season 25, but they thankfully made it its own show separate from the rest of the series. But the main show was dropped in favor of the Made for Toddlers reboot. Yeah, but even it's not made for toddlers though, because that's an insult to toddlers. Try the song. I must remember the song. Yes, I know the song, but the following after that, the following word after that confused me. Yeah, they made that. They made Thomas the narrator. Blech. Sure it is. And with a reboot, that's exactly what it is, confirmed by the people behind it. They say that the engines are now like children, apart from Gordon, who's the father figure, and so does like the big playground to them. Oh, the playground thing. See, told ya. But yeah, which is so surprising considering that Thomas is older than Gordon. Like the locomotive is older than Gordon. the locomotive class, and thus also the locomotive. Because it was only produced in over a couple of years. So that's a bit strange. Although, if any figure should have been the father figure, I would have said Edward. Oh, wait. Well. Sorry. Also, this I am going to drag a little bit closer down here, just to help the severity of this, help lessen the severity of the junction, oh, the switch, the turnout. There we go. Yeah, I think that's better, like this. They talked about how the 3D series always restricted the character's movement so much. It's on a rail. It's a train on a railway. The whole point of a train is that the movement is restricted by the rails. Otherwise, you've just got a car. Or, well, I guess a truck would be a better analogy in most cases. Or I guess a bus. The people, like that, I mean, that right there is a pretty bad sign when the people who are in charge of continuing your beloved railway franchise complain that the movement of the characters is restricted. Characters who are locomotives. But that may restrict the character's movement so much, but that they're able to do so much more in the reboot. Stretching and bouncing, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I mean, trains do have suspension in real life, so bouncing isn't technically a bad thing. You do want a train to be able to bounce a little bit. Otherwise, depending on how the quality of the tracks, it would be quite an uncomfortable ride. Although you don't want them too highly sprung, the swerves. They're basically saying that the main characters of the show being trains is a restriction to them. But then why do they even make a show about trains? If they don't want them to be trains. Money, quite clearly. Just start a new show with whatever characters that don't have anything to do with the trains or established IP of Thomas. Well, there's the issue. If you do not link what you're doing to your already well-known IP, how can you get above the rest? There are so many baby shows that all, at least from an external point of view, I haven't watched them, but from an external point of view, all seem pretty generic. And if you make up your own characters with your own thing, then you are going to have to do some serious work to set yourself apart from those. But why would you do that when you've got a perfectly good, beloved, well-recognizable IP sitting right there that's basically a free ticket to recognition? I think I've got all the frogs in place now, he said while building a railroad. This isn't the Southern, it's a railroad. Just start, right. Money, yes. But like the overwhelming majority, I'd honestly say around the 90% of all people who saw the reboot, hates it. I'm back. Good. Fun fact, City of Truro was a 4402. A 4402. That's an interesting wheel arrangement. Because, like, I get a, like, 4422 or something like that. But having a 0 in the middle, surely that would just get cancelled out. A 4402 seems quite... like, I don't even know how to visualize that. Like, how would you visualize that wheel arrangement? Sure, nice. Insult to toddlers. Yes, yes. But toddlers are still the target audience. The toddlers have a peanut-sized head. You've got some big peanuts, then. They deserve better than AEG. Far better. Gordon looks mid-50s. Thomas looks 13. Funny thing is that Gordon is actually about... was Gordon built the same year as Flying Scotsman? If so, then Gordon will turn 100 years old next year. Because the Flying Scotsman was built in 1923, wasn't it? Okay, so that's good. Now, I said I wanted to put the cars down next, but I think... I noticed one thing that I wanted to do before, but I've forgotten what it was. No matter. I'll find it. I'll find it when I place cars. Right, so cars. Guys, seen the new Towards the Tangent fan episodes? Project Tiger Morph? Tiger Morph? I thought it was Tiger Moth. And yes, I have. Okay, here we go. So, about that. First of all, I want to say I really did enjoy it. Most of the things I have to say about it are good. I loved the set design. It looked stunning. I loved the design of the locomotives. As far as I could tell, it was a flawless recreation of the old models. It was so much good stuff. So much good stuff. There were a couple of things that I think could have been improved. Number one is at least the American narrator didn't... I don't know, the audio mixing felt kind of off. It didn't feel like a professional narrator narrated it. It felt like a fan narrating it, where the part of it was also the audio mixing. Especially in the beginning, the narrator sounded too quiet compared to the rest, and it varied too much. Like he spoke a bit quiet, and then when Gordon, in the beginning with the shed with Toby, when Gordon spoke up, it was so loud that I had to turn it down and turn it back up all the way because too quiet, that sort of thing. And just didn't feel as professional as I'm used to from watching the actual professional episodes. But then I watched a UK dub that someone else made of the episode, and in that UK dub, the audio mixing is much, much better, and it also sounds more professional. The way that like some of the pacing works, and how, again, the volume and tone works and things like that. So that's one thing. Another thing is that there are, I think, like 2, maybe 3 shots where the depth of field is a bit distracting. So 2 of them are in the in the beginning with Toby by the shed, where I think the first one is where Thomas arrives, because Gordon, sorry, Gordon drives away. Yeah, Gordon goes away, and into the depth of field blur, and then there's a good while where the entire image, everything that's moving in the distance, is blurred. That's the thing that the eye is drawn to, but you can't focus on it because it's blurred. And then Thomas appears. Oh, hello. Somebody. Hello, Racer45Z. Z. Welcome. I'm talking about the newly fan-made Season 5 episode of Thomas, Project Tiger Moth. Yeah, so I quick recap. I love it. Few tiny things I think could have been improved, but yeah, so that's what, like, yeah, and then Thomas comes out of the depth of field towards the camera and comes into focus. And then as soon as he's in focus, it's like Gordon drives away. It's like I can't, I can't look anywhere. I can't focus. And then as soon as Thomas comes in, it's right now I can focus on something that's moving. And there's another shot where it's a similar thing, I think, with James in the distance, like driving off into the distance and then becoming blurry while your eyes are still following him and you can't focus on it, and that's just a bit distracting. And the last thing is that, spoilers, I'll put my hand in front of the camera like this for a second when the spoilers are over, in case you want to mute, in case you haven't seen it. So, spoilers. I find it a bit odd that... Okay, so the story is... Toby is a bit sad because he thinks that the Fat Controller only cares about his main line. And then he takes Thomas's job to find, well, to help Percy with some wagons. Or take some wagons to Percy, I should say, instead of Thomas. And then he gets there, there's a Y, which, by the way, actually no, I'll say that after because of the spoiler thing, so remind me of that. So things happen, he accidentally loses control of a train, crashes through some bushes, goes along a short section of abandoned track, and ends up at his old branch line's station. Now, the thing that I would say could be improved is Toby, like, we only see that the station only has one track coming out of it. Sorry. Need a bit more water. Yeah, the station only has one track coming out of it, because on the other end is the shed, is his old shed. So that line that he comes from, that one track, is the track that connects to the Y where Percy was. And we don't see any sort of branches or anything else, and that's all overgrown. Even if there were branches, all of that would still be part of Toby's old branch. It has to be, because it was overgrown. So Toby doesn't recognize any of it. It doesn't even look familiar. He goes to the Y, doesn't recognize anything. Okay. He goes along, well, he goes through the thing and arrives at a station, then recognizes, this is my old station, but he doesn't recognize any other part of his old line which has to connect to the Y, because all of the track to the station is abandoned. Even if we say that there was a junction that led off from where station is to his old branch, a junction that goes up to the Y, because it's all overgrown, yes, technically, you might say that there was another branch that Toby never went down that went over to the Y, and that is why he didn't recognize the Y, and that was also overgrown. But that's just making stuff up that the creators of the episode didn't make up. That's adding my own idea to try to fix that in my mind. So another fix for it, the way I would have done it, is when Toby first came to the Y to deliver the trucks to Percy, I would have had the narrator say something like, then Toby arrived with the trucks and Percy was already waiting for him. The area, or something like, Toby looked around and the area looked oddly familiar, but he couldn't place it. Or something like that. Just one line that acknowledges that there is some sort of recognition there. Because that not only would have addressed the potential plot hole, it would have also given a little bit of a hint to the audience or of what is to come. It would have, I think that would have improved it. Those are the three things. For the first episode that these people are making, I don't know if they're making more, but that's the first episode that they've made, and it's a fan project. I mean, those are just little details that could have been improved. I'm still really very impressed with it. So that's the spoiler section over. There we go. Spoiler section over. Hello, welcome. In all of that time, you could have probably just gone and watched the episode itself, and then you would have been able to catch the rest of the spoiler section. Anyway, right, the Y. I'll reach out in a bit, don't worry. The Y. So the episode makes explains what a Y is, and that's great. But then they don't use the Y for what it is useful for the sake of plot convenience, which I found a bit funny. And actually, because of that, I managed to guess what was going to happen based on that. So there we go. So all in all, great. I loved it. Just this few little, again, what I'm saying is that it wasn't perfect, but it still was great. So, I need to rechat, I think. Alright, yes. Project Tiger Moth, yes. Shadow's fun fact. Henry and Edward actually are in All Engines Go, but literally only in one action scene where there's a runaway or something, and Thomas, in a kid's voice, is like, "Oh no, it's gonna crash into those trains." Those trains referring to Henry and Edward. Ah. Moth. Yes, I have. That's such a strange thing. Like, Moth. Yes, I have. I almost started crying. Yeah, 'cause that's what I remember. Yeah, it was great. I enjoyed watching that episode so much. I was really happy. Yeah, they've done it well, alright. A 442 is an Atlantic type. Yes. But I was talking about a 4402 because Kango typed in 440 and then 2 as in TOO. but when you say it, it sounds like you're saying 4402, as in the number 2. Here in the US, yes. I think Gordon's the A1 prototype, isn't he? Is he? In that case, he might already be over 100 years, well, 100 years old or over 100 years old. But, oh, okay. Bye-bye, Mika School. I hope you caught the end of me answering your question. Yeah, Prototype Moth is supposed to be set right after Season 5, like an alternate Season 6. Season 5 in real life began the last one, being the last one, where Milton worked with Allcroft. So yeah, bye, yes. Forgot I had this on. Okay. Shred Ice, if you did a UK dub for Project Tiger Moth, you could add that line. I mean, yes, I could, but then I would be changing... Then I would be changing I would be changing their work, or attempting to do so, and that wouldn't really be good in that way, because I don't want to change part of their script without them kind of, without working with them on that. I wouldn't want to do that. Also, remember the hand in front of the camera. Yeah, I did. Yes, of course I remembered. I wouldn't just leave a spoiler thing up for hours without there still being spoilers. Yes, why? I remember the why. What hour is it, kids? It's Y hour. Yeah, I fully agree. 4402 would be 4 pilot wheels, 4 drivers, 0 drivers, 2 trailing wheels. Yes, but 0 drivers? I mean... then there just isn't any slot there. You could just add as many zeros in there as you wanted and it wouldn't change anything, I think. And that's my point. Yeah, I suppose. Be redundant, yeah. Willis, hello, welcome. I'm placing some cars around the place, doing a little bit of detailing afterwards, and then I'm going to take a look at the area and see if anything else needs to be done down here scenery-wise. And then after that, if there isn't, we'll move over to the city again and finish that last area of the route. Trying to picture how 0 drivers would work. A pair of cylinders with side rods just flailing about in the air? That would be interesting. And probably also deadly. Yes. Yeah. Right, so, cars. I don't want cars to be on all of these lots. Like, for example, don't want one over here that looks a bit too overgrown. Wouldn't really fit that well, probably. Maybe just a couple of them over here as well. We've already got a few cars parked over here. I don't think we need a whole lot of cars over this place, because there's not really that much like work to be done here, probably. So you wouldn't need that many people parked there. That's a bit too bright. Or maybe the 0 drivers are actually the result of a partially functioning cloaking device. Ha ha ha. Yes, that's it. The Romulan Express strikes again. Okay. Let's see about back here. I think this area could use something over here. I've already got one there. I think I'll add a couple more over here somewhere. I know I will put in derelict barrels as well, but I'm putting in the cars first, like I said before, because I think those are more performance intensive, so I want to see how many I can put down here without it just lagging everything out completely. So at the moment I'm not feeling the effect of the cars quite yet. Set the railway in the 20s and 30s. But I'm sure that that will come. Okay, that's all pretty good. Let's have a look over here. Already placed some cars here before. Over here, not yet. That one, it's a bit bright. Isn't there a different blue? I think there's a different blue. I know it's all the same assets, but it's really meant to just look more like generic cars, not really that individual. Okay, I already put some over here. I think we just need to put some over in this area still. Huh, that fits pretty well with the color of the bricks. Actually, sorry, hold on. Maybe having a few like garbage trucks or something placed outside here might look quite nice. Are these ones? Well, that one should work. Just like a city owned lot where they store some of those vehicles. Yeah, like that. Not sure what the building is used for in that case, but maybe they just use the space. Maybe search for a Buick? Maybe. Yes, yes, cats. Couldn't agree more. Checking to see if Blue was paying attention to chat. Test passed. Ha 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 ha. I knew it. How does it feel to be tested? Tested like a student. Okay. Right, I didn't have any where the road access goes through there. I think I'm going to place one of these pickups, maybe the olive green one, why not? Place it over here. Just to reinforce that this is where... Oh, I think I'm trying to move this one, yeah. To reinforce that this is where the entrance and exit is for cars. Great job. Here come the test results. Here come the test results, yes. Just need to do this area here. Actually, I think maybe having a few trucks placed around the area might also work. Not a lot, but just a few. Over here, of course, there are already quite a few trucks, luckily. Maybe some trailers as well, now that I'm thinking about it. Right, trailers. Which ones of these buildings could use some trailers? This one might. Although that kind of highlights how little space there is to get between there. But that's okay. There's still plenty. Okay, and then I'll have a couple of these ones parked here. I'll probably... Now, I'll move them back a bit to here to give potential trucks a way of actually escaping. Okay. Any more needed over here? Perhaps at this place? But not really. I don't think so. Maybe one here. Like so. Is there going to be a fight? Right, before that. So, not a lot. Search for duel. Search for duel? Why? I'm not gonna search for a duel. If it finds me, that's bad enough. Truck and trailer? I can have a look, but... well, we'll see. And tell you what, I'll put one trailer kind of parked over here as well, just for miscellaneous stuff, probably. Kind of fits color-wise. Maybe I'll put like, hello, Mr. Snipes, welcome. Yes, fancy, just stuff. I know. Just stuff like that. A couple more in there. Maybe a little closer. Right. So I still need a bit more actual detail work, like dirt barrels, newspapers, stuff like that. But we'll see. So dual. Like if I place this here, then it would probably be like as an Easter egg, which means I'd probably place it somewhere like over here. Like that. And actually, maybe the other way around would be better. Yeah, because over here, you've already got the trailer side of the trailer over here, and then seeing the truck from the front over here would be good, I think. Yes, I know you're seeing the front of these technically, but you're seeing the trailers, not a truck in front. So I think I'll turn it around. Like so. Right. Hopefully not. But the truck from the movie does have dualities on its rear axles. Fancy. I made a parade of all my steam locomotives the other day. In Trainz? Yes, in Trainz. Ah, lovely. By my steam locomotives, do you mean ones that you've bought, like DLC, or ones that you just like to use on a railroad? Or ones that you've made? I like the forest oil tanks. Forest oil tanks? Not sure what exactly you mean, sorry. Hold on. I mean, actually, to make it, I've got an idea. Hold on. No, I won't put it there. That's too much. Too much. Too much. Over here, maybe. So that they can have a meeting out in the sun when the insurance guy comes. Right. Duality is not duality. What? All right. I thought I said dualities. Elisa, hello. Hey, Jardis, just dropped by to say hi. Now I'm going to go sleep. Good luck and hope this game doesn't crash. The game just crashed. Yes, I hope that as well. Thank you for coming by. Like dual wheels. I know what you mean. I know what you mean. See you tomorrow. Yes. Bye-bye. Yes. Tomorrow disconnected. Jardis. Snaps meant the accidentally placed ones, I think. The tanks. I didn't say dualities. Dualies. Oh, dualies. Oh, so I did say, yeah, okay. I see. Right, so barrels. No, not multiple industry, barrel. Yes. I know how you can get the two confused quite easily, Trainz, but I'm very much looking for barrels, not multiple industries. Right. Kanga was speaking trucker. Ah. You didn't actually say anything. You typed it. How do you know he didn't also say it? Yeah, true. Because voice chat isn't on. Oh. Oh no. Kango, I think Willis is under the impression that we can only speak if we're on Discord voice chat. Like, I think he thinks that otherwise we don't have voices. Do you want to explain to him or should I? Right. Should I maybe place a small red car near the fuel truck? Why not? Oh, that's why not. Oh, well. No, I'll see what I can... I'll see what I will do. Because oftentimes people say, I'll see what I can do. But actually they could do a lot more, it's just they don't want to. And so, I mean, even for very legitimately good reasons, like for example, it would ruin my reputation, etc., etc. But they still technically can do the thing. So, instead I'll say, I'll see what I will do. I think we just need more boxes over here, really. Also, do we have any sort of loading? We've got this loading area from here. What sort of... Yeah, we don't have any sort of... Maybe we could have another multiple industry over here, actually. Like, just here, perhaps. Just for general goods or something. Just to be loaded straight onto and off of the barges from the crane. Or with a crane. I think that could work. But I would want the more rusted track, which I don't think I've really used much down here, which is slightly strange, I think. Especially since it's down by the water. Down by the water. It's the place to rust. Come on, did I seriously not use them over here? I thought I did. Apparently I did not. Well, in that case, let's find them over up here. Right. Oh, it is known. Right. You go ahead. Yeah. A great feature of the direct assets. Most of them are rollable. Yeah, but that will take a lot more time to do as well. Do you have moorings? Not placed down, I might add those. Then, luckily I've still got the frogs. Need the other one. They'll switch. There we go. And here I will put a bumper. There we go. Or do you want to add them? Moorings. Yeah, I think I want to add them. If I... Yeah, I'll probably add some. That shard ice sure makes nice routes. I don't download them though because of his bad reputation. Down by the water. It's a place to rust. Down by the water. There's more mud than dust. True. Down by the waterside. Down by the waterside. Down by the waterside. To go there, you must. You just must. Okay, let's see. Do we have a red car? Yes, but I think it's a bit too modern. I guess I could place the this red one. No, that's... Hold on. I want one that's completely red. Sure. Is that rollable? Oh, it is. Look, it's trying to race away, racing around the curve like this. Is the truck rollable? No. But I will rotate it a bit more. There you go. How's that? Down by the water edge. Shard ice to the tune of Down by the Rocks. Down by the waterside. Down by the waterside. What? Down by the waterside. To go. I don't know. I don't know how you mean. Sorry, I don't know how you mean with that. I can't really fit that much. I'm not sure. So, what was the other thing I wanted to do? I wanted to put down... Oh yeah, moorings. Let's have a look. Ship mooring pylon. I mean, yes, that is what that is. I guess I could just place some of these ones here. Would those be sort of found here? Or are they more... Like, are these along dockside like that, or... I guess that makes sense. If not, I can easily replace them. Let's just see what it would look like this. Also, how high up are they? I don't know that I like that. Maybe there are too many. Hold on. Maybe every other one. Oops. I think maybe if I lower them, maybe so they're just, although I suppose they don't have to be accessible from the top, do they? They've got to be accessible from the bottom, because that's where the ropes would be thrown over. Because you don't, yeah, so... Although, yeah, then you can't really see them from the top. So there may not actually be that much point in me putting them in. Although I suppose it might look a bit better from the other side. Although now I kind of need more of them again, I think. We'll see how it goes. Although I really don't want to spend too long on this one detail. Right. There'll be much lower IRL. Or before that, should I starting with Snipe's message to tune of Down by the docks? Down by the water. It's a place to rust down by the water. There's more. There is more mud than rust. There we go, yes. Ish. Because docks and the latter docks are water than waterside is. Okay. They would be much lower, Errol. Like up to one's knees. Is this low or high tide? Well, it's, I don't know. It's river tide. I don't know how much it changes here. I mean, judging by the height of the water on the spline here, it would actually it is just a little bit above that. If this is the height that the water usually comes up to. But then again, we'll see. Tops should be at least higher than the high tide line. Shadows would have one route of the year, but he skipped out on his dock detailing and that cost him the win. Color line on pylons should match color line on the key. Oh, so you mean like this? So that is that. I see. I suppose that makes sense. Yeah, I've never really done this sort of thing before. Not really. I've made, of course I've made harbors and docks and stuff like that, but that was long before I knew how to, like, do something, try to do something properly realistic. So this is interesting. It's about a real, as real as a potato running for president. President of what, do you mean? Now, should there be some back here or not? Probably not, considering that it's just the wall. You wouldn't really want to fasten a... Although maybe if it's just... If something just needs to be tied up there, I suppose might as well put them in. President of the railroad. Ah, I see. That's what you're aiming for, Mr. Mayor. Dun dun dun. Okay, which means I'll have to move this ship over just a tiny bit. President of the Committee of Lagged Starchy Tubers. Legged starchy. Lagged. President of the Department of Redundancy Department. Ah, yes. Good old Monty Python. And then we need some over here as well. But considering that this is meant for larger ships, I'm going to have them be a little bit more spaced out. Well, have to see what Sheriff Eggplant has to say about this. Sheriff Eggplant? That's a weird job, Sheriff. What about Deputy Aubergine? And Mademoiselle Artichoke. Artichoke. Nice plant, but tricky to get without insects. At least if you don't plan on poisoning the insects and the plant and potentially people who eat the plant. Ah, you typed faster than I could. I mean, I do tend to type quite fast. The fact that I mistype quite often, it might be related to that. Well, at least in Twitch chat. Right. Kango, are you happy with the moorings? Yes? Good. Now, on to the other thing, what I originally wanted to do, which is put lots of crates and stuff like that around here. Didn't I already have a crates up? There we go. They were over here. I can quickly grab them from there. Just place them over here. Me? Yep. Hehe. Yes, very much so. Although, is the water too blue? There are no reflections. It looked fine with reflections. I mean, just remember what the dam looked like before, when I was still able to run with reflections without lagging before Service Pack 5. I'm still not happy that Service Pack 5 actually worsened the already quite not great performance of TRS-19 for me. I was so happy about the reflections on the water and it looking so beautiful, but now it lags too much for me to be able to have it on, at least while streaming, which is very unfortunate. It also means that I won't be able to have it on for when I make the trailer, so I might have to get the help of someone else to make the trailer who can run reflections. So, although, is the water... Yes, eyes. A bus-through might be offended by that comment. Hello, hi, what? Fish impressions? Yes, please, go ahead. We were just talking about how wonderful your fish impressions were, so please do give us them. Yes, that totally wasn't just because you just brought it up just there. So, I made a remark that the water might perhaps be too blue. My fish drowned. Oh. Well... I'm sorry for your loss, but even more sorry for the fishes. By drowned, do you mean that there wasn't enough air being pumped into the into the aquarium, there wasn't enough bubbles. Sorry. Or what happened? No such thing as too blue. Right. Oh, that is cheeky. Thank you. No, I've never owned a fish. Oh, I see. I thought you were being sincere. But it's better to think someone is being sincere and then it turns out they weren't about something like that, than to think somebody is joking and then it turns out they were actually being sincere. Also, I'm going to put some of these barrels onto the actual quayside so that it looks more like terrain. Cheeky? None of the sort. I only said that because I thought the blueness of the water might detract from your blue color. My fish actually got stuck in a tree. Although mudskips do actually jump onto tree roots and branches. So that's not as unrealistic as you might first think. Okay, now back over to the derelict barrels. Which one? I believe Shardice is thinking water not well enough oxygenated. Yes, that's the expression I was looking for. I couldn't think of it. I thought you never owned one, unless it was another one. Let's skip home. The one that Albert Einstein said we shouldn't judge by its ability. It wanted to prove a point. It's always dangerous proving that something's pointy without pricking yourself. Because you might prick yourself. If that wasn't clear. What sort of derelict stuff would fit over here? Where is all the... Oh, alright, I see, that's fine. That's fine. For some reason... Yeah, it's fine, never mind. I want some derelict stuff there, but stuff that actually fits. Maybe just some garbage bags. Actually, garbage bag there. Actually a bit closer. Garbage bag there. Ah, the sheet metal. That's what I wanted. Not all rotated the same way, of course. Just something like that. And then probably... The newspapers, yes, the derelict newspapers. These assets are great. They just add so much to a scene. Not necessarily every scene though, because some scenes, if you put them everywhere, some assets I mean, if you put some assets everywhere, then they kind of lose their specialness, their use. Oh, whoa! Who lives in a bird's nest way up a tree? I see, I get the reference. Blue never owned a fish. It was just a rental? Well, that's still a contradiction then, because Blue said, my fish. Okay, so, we need more of the derelict newspapers over here. Not everywhere, though. Again. Hope I've not deleted anything else there by accident. That seems a bit too orderly. 1 second. That seems better. We'll need a couple of pages between the tracks, in case that wasn't clear. Actually, maybe we could even have one on the sleepers. Like so. Dun dun dun. Right. Maybe, yes, maybe it was the Orn's fish? Jerry's fish rental? Oh! Is there a sheep object? You could make a stack of them on a farm somewhere as a Mr. W Easter egg. Now that is an interesting idea. Hey, there are sheep. Yeah, there are sheep. A most delectable idea. What? Are you planning to eat the sheep? No! Blue, green and red cars are sunk into the ground. I know. A lot of the cars are slightly in the ground, but otherwise I'd have to move each and every object out of the ground, and that would just add so much more time. I might go around and do it in some of the obvious places later, but we'll see. I just meant that the idea was delectable. Sure, why not? Let's see. How about... Actually, are named objects on? Yes. Okay. Then let's have a look here. I'll put them... I'll put them over here, in this field. Or... yeah, I don't want it to be too visible. I'll put it over here. Although I'll name one of them, like W stack or something. So that you can actually find it. And actually, I'll probably use this sheep asset because it looks the boxiest. Actually, I don't even need them all to face the right way. Hold on. Although, actually, hold on. I'll need to find out how many... how many sheep were stacked? Oh, that's... 1 second. Just looking up. Yeah, I'm trying to go for the thumbnail. Highlight it, there we go. That's, hold on, let's have a look. So that's, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, hold on, I can't mouse over it. I'll do it by pointing. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I can see 9 on that image. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then I'll just... Is 1 meter good? Distance? Why not? Although I doubt if I doubt that Mr. W will see this. Actually, it looks like almost like a DNA helix, well, double helix thing, almost. I'll call it Mr. W's stack. There we go. There they are. If you're just flying over, you can see them as well. Not so much from the tracks, but that's kind of good, because it would be a bit immersion breaking, and I do not want that. W stack? Oh. Delectable. Adjective. Food or drink. Delicious, mouth-watering, appetizing, flavoursome, flavourful. I suppose. So you are planning to eat the sheep. The sheep. They're on my thumber shirt is 9. Nah, it was the wrong word then. 9. Yeah, 9 sheep. Yes. You wrote it and I looked it up anyway because I didn't see. Yes. XD80. Well, Mr. W is just gonna have to come by and join VC someday. Maybe tomorrow. Hey, tomorrow on Minecraft VC, one of you two could mention it. So, we think that some of your sheep might have escaped. Yeah, where did you see them? Well, I think they were over on some field by the Milton Valley Railroad, I think. Something. Well, you shouldn't phrase it like that, because then he'll probably think that they actually escaped. If you just say, if you just said, hey, I think we might have seen some of your sheep somewhere, or something like that, or at least if you say it right after, or something like that. You'd have to phrase it in a way where you don't cause genuine worry that the sheep have escaped, because that's not fun. You could do something like that. Yes. Whoa. No. Who's gonna tell him? Come by on Thursday, 9 PM sharp. Meet me on Twitch. Be there or do not. Right, we've gone past the time again. So I think we actually accomplished quite a bit. So what we still need to do here is add some more like derelict barrels and other derelict stuff in some of these empty, like some of these lots, like here, over in this area still, and then over on this stripe, and over here a little bit. But that shouldn't take too long. And then after that, yeah, putting a bit of detailing stuff up here, just a little bit, not too much. And then some stuff over here, like parked cars, buses, things like that. Yeah, I need to do something with this as well. So, yes. That's what we'll do next time. And off the top of my head, I can't really think of anything else that I need to do down here scenery-wise. Which means that we may be able to get started over here, either in the next stream or the stream after that, hopefully. So let's just do a little refresh of what we still need to do down here, because this is the last area of the route that still needs to have scenery built. Yes, I do still need to freshen up some areas, like for example, I need to finish adding in like some foliage, well, some greenery around the rivers, like I did here. I need to continue doing that along here and some other places as well where I've put rivers like this. And then I need to also put some 3D bushes in the edge of the forest, because for example here, it looks good, but it could look better. So just going along and placing a few 3D bushes just on this little edge, just along some of the edges of the forest. And just a few details like that. But other than that, like that's not, like the main scenery is already done in all of this area. Minus a little bit here. So this area down here is really the last area that needs to be built. So what does actually need to be done here? Well, one thing that needs to be done is the kind of suburban area here needs to be connected with the industrial area over here, which hasn't loaded in yet. There we go. Ish. So that needs to be connected, which I don't think that should be the first thing we do, because that's tedious. When I go to this area, I want to do something exciting. So there are two exciting things that need to be done here. The first is this line over here, which is the line that just goes straight through the industrial area of the city here. Yeah, I might need to turn shadows off for this when we get to it. This needs to continue straight on for a bit more, because I think there were some industries that we need to still fit on here, which we haven't put in yet. I don't know what those are off the top of my head. We really do need to make a spreadsheet for this. So that's one. The other one is to extend this main line that way a bit. Probably up to like here to have one intermittent station, and then have it maybe curve around a little, like maybe in an S-bend or something like that, to a terminus, which is probably going to be up here or something like that. There may be another junction or something where another line kind of merges in, but that's just going to go to some portals or something if I do that. I'm not saying that I will, but I may. Sorry. Yeah, so those are the two exciting things that needs to be done. So I think after we've just finished off the little bit of detailing work that needs to be done back where we've been working today, I think we may actually need to have a spreadsheet live stream first before we go over here. I think that might need to be the case. Because if it turns out that we still need like recipients for certain products, then I want to know about that before I make the industries, and I'll have to change it. What does this say? Oh, candy factory, yes. Oh, and now I've remembered the thing I wanted to do. Put in the rest of the crossings, like the TRC stuff. Hold on, 1 second. I'll put down a quick crossing object just so I don't forget for next time. And I'll even have it rotated at a very weird angle like this, just so that I can't miss it. Well, let's have it rotated like that, just so that it's an even weirder angle. Right, so yeah, because when I say spreadsheet, I mean like have a table where I've got the industry on one side, like in one column, and then I've got how many carloads of X products it receives, like per, I don't know, per week or something. And then how many, or I don't know which unit will be most useful, but something like that. and then like how much it receives, and then how much it produces. So then I can also have another columns of where it receives, or actually maybe we could put it in the same one. So what it receives, which industry it receives it from, and how much, and then what it produces, and where it ships that to. So I only really need those three. So the name of it, where it is, actually, yeah, the name of it / where it is, what it takes in and from where and how much, and what it exports and to where and how much. Then I can figure out, well, for one, I can figure out roughly what sort of traffic different areas will see, and I can then make sure that I don't miss out on any industries that would be useful to have for a chain. So, yeah, because we've got a lot of industries that are just a multiple industry that have not been set up yet, so I think that would be really useful to have. So yeah, we'll probably do that in between, actually. Right, so I'll just quickly set up the camera for a thumbnail, then I'll read the rest of chat and then I'll end. And for this, I might even change the time of day. This or this better? No, the other one's better, this one's better. Got to remember the edge because of the banner. Maybe. It does look very nice. I'm just trying to get some shots that don't look like thumbnails I've already used. I think one of those two will probably work. So, right. Okay. Do or do not. There is no try. Here. Buses, hello. 5303? Probably. Oh, they'll be awful American ones. I mean, American probably yes. Awful, well, that's debatable. I mean, technically American is even debatable because American could mean South American. It doesn't specify necessarily. So if someone assumes South America and then North American, or even then you could say Canadian, but people mean USA, even though it's North America. So even that's debatable. So everything about that is debatable. You what? Will you create at least one session online just to show how it's done? Oh yes, I will. 1 second. Sorry. Yeah, I will. I think I will create a passenger one and, well, at least one passenger and a freight one, just to show how I do those two different things, because the live streams, a part of the live streams has always been an educational thing for Trainz, where because I've always encouraged people who like comment stuff on tutorials. If I've always encouraged them to come to the stream so that I can show them live, but I think that will be quite helpful. So yes, I think it's planned. Yeah, maybe a helipad factory. I mean, we do have a cement plant, so we do need a recipient for that. Haha, load them on a flatbed and take them to the hills. Load them on flat cars and take them to the mayor's warehouse. Yes. Sure is. Why not a pushpin instead of a cruddy post crossing? What? Well, it's just easier. I've already got it there then. Also thumbnail? Yes. Industry name, cargo in, cargo out. Yes. That's the conclusion I came to as well regarding the table. But yeah, spreadsheet live stream would be really fun. You could make a sorry. You could make a diagram of the next of the route next to it, not of the next route. So we can see what goes where what goes. Maybe. I guess I could just have an image of the map view. Although I guess I will have to have Trainz up as well, just so that I can use the... Oh, that doesn't work like that. Just so that I can use the find objects thing to find all of the industries. Look at all these multiple industries that need to be set up, all of this stuff. Well, that's going to be interesting. No, it will actually be interesting. I promise. Although that actually looks like another really quite nice. Hold on. I don't think this will be my thumbnail because I've had the wall on it last time. But that's a nice shot. Although it may be the thumbnail because that does actually look really quite nice. Anyway, where was I? Yes. But yeah, spreadsheet live stream would be really fun. Right, already read that. Oh, that bend on the very end of that residential district on the other side of the main line there. Will you put a crash barrier there or chevrons? Not sure what you mean. We'll get to it next time. Oh, this looks stunning. Thank you. That looks very nice. Aw. Nails of thumbies. Why? While it did always look more than great before, it always looks even better when there's distant haze and longer shadows. Ooh, wise word. Well, wise sounding. Well, words that sound wise, if you say them in a proper way. Precisely. Oh, that could make up... Oh, chat could make up message pop-up dialogue. Probably not a great idea. Will you put something like session making live stream in the titles? Because if you don't, I think many people might miss it. Probably yes. Well, yes, resistance. Let those distant trees spawn in. Not necessarily, because if it's for a thumbnail, having the smooth shape there might make it look more distant. As Will said, what? Oh, thumbiness. Oh, right. Thumbiness. Nails of thumbiness. That makes sense. Anyway, that's that. And just quickly, 1 second, I'll save again. Save. Hold on, was that? Yeah. And good night. Thank you all very much for coming, everybody. And next time we'll finish off some details in that area, and then depending how much time we have, we may get started with the spreadsheet of doom. Well, spreadsheet of industry. So, we'll see. good night. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Yes, see you all tomorrow, indeed. Tomorrow I'm going to be playing Minecraft, and I've got lots of plans, as usual.